Today, I have a special surprise for you. It's a man that you need to hear from. Guys out there, if you're struggling with depression, you're struggling with porn, you're feeling alone, or you just feel like there's no hope, this is a man you need to talk to. He's also a man that I've had a personal hand in shaping and helping. I've been honored to be part of his journey. This is Shawn. You are going to hear all about him here in just a minute. Shawn, really quick, can you give us a snapshot of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along here. Super excited to drop in with you, Adam. And yeah, I am somebody that has come from the depths of the darkness, and I am now on the other side. I'm embodying and living this light every day, and I'm here to inspire and motivate you guys. And if you have any self-limiting beliefs, any old conditioning that is taking you back, that's holding you back, I'm here to show you how to overcome those things.
By the way, it's good to talk to you again.
I know, man. I'm so glad to see you on here. It's been so long. I'm like, Adam, you're like from the past. You were such a sense of like grounding and like I don't know, just relief. So it's really nice to have you with me.
Thank you, Matt. You know, you and I, we coached together a while ago, and then you've been off on your journey, and I am so excited to catch up with you. Tell me a little bit about what has been going on since we worked together, and then we could backtrack a little bit for the people at home who are listening. We could backtrack and talk about where that's come from, but I want a snapshot of you now, man. How are you doing?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for asking. So now I got a lot of things going on. I have stepped a little bit more into my power. And some of the things that I wanted to come to fruition back in the day have started to unfold here. And it's been really nice, man. So one thing I'm doing right now is we're working with men. We're hosting in-person retreats for men to come in and really just start working on or continue working on their own growth and their own development. And the the magic that takes place at these retreats is so beautiful and so powerful that we're also now building an online community so that when they leave the retreat, they have a place to kind of integrate and bring it back home with them. So there's that going on in the business side of things. And personally, I know when we last had a session, I was not, my wife and I were separated. And
Mhm.
since then, we have come back together and reunited the
Wonderful.
family and everything. Yeah. So
Wonderful.
it's been beautiful, man.
Oh man, you are living your message, right? We remember we had talked about that when a man embraces his mission and his honor and himself, that everybody around them tends to do the same. Was
Mm.
that what it was like for you and your wife as well? That when you stepped up, she started stepping up too?
Yeah. So this is one of the biggest things from working with you. And it's funny because it all circles back to this is I realized, and you helped in such a beautiful way shine light on this, but I realized at the time I wasn't really proud of the man that I was. I wasn't, I thought I was a good person. I was always well intentioned, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I was deflecting, and I had some narcissistic tendencies. I didn't really take responsibility or accountability for any of my actions or any of the, a lot of the words and things that I was saying. So yeah, bringing that to light and starting to take pride in my honesty and being the man that I really wanted to become. Yeah, it allows others to do the same through my vulnerability and my transparency and through sharing my story. But now I find that coming home to my wife and being this man and embodying it, and I certainly have struggles. There's certainly low moments, but it allows her to kind of rest in her feminine and know that she doesn't have to worry about expressing herself or talking about what makes her upset. She knows that it's a team, and we're going to work through it together. So it's been it's been amazing in so many ways. So that's why I'm like I talk about being thankful for meeting with you. I got to give you props, man. You helped me in so many ways, and I was reflecting on our call here. I was getting excited for it, and I was reflecting
Hmm.
on some of the times that we met and the place that I was in mentally and emotionally before some of our calls
Hmm.
was. I mean, I was in fight or flight, man. There was a lot of times where I was really stressed out, and
I
you kind
remember.
of reined it in, brought it in, and I always left our meetings clear minded and excited to continue the work, continue the journey.
That's wonderful, man. Is it okay if I share a little bit about what I remember when we
Please,
met and where you were versus where you are now, which is
yeah,
like two different men. It's not
yeah,
even the same man in front of me, which is awesome.
yeah. Yeah, please feel free.
Yeah, so you might laugh at this, or maybe it'll be educational. I don't know, but I remember when you came in, you were a man. To me, you looked like a man who had built up his life in every area except where he was going to be fulfilled. You had built up, right, money. You had built up business. You had amazing business sense, even better than I had. I was kind of a little bit admirable about you. I admired that in you. You were great in that regard, but you were so unhappy. You were running away from responsibility because you didn't know how to embrace it. It's not like you were like a coward. You didn't know how to embrace responsibility in a way that wasn't going to bring you pain, horrible pain. I remember you and your wife, you guys were at odds. You guys couldn't agree on what color the sky was. You couldn't figure out what you wanted in life, what love was. You didn't even have a working definition of what love was. All you knew was you wanted a fulfilling life and you wanted to do right by your children. Those were the two things that really stuck in my brain. You wanted purpose and to take care of your kids. There was no doubt in your mind that those are the two things you needed to drive at. So you were still a man at that point. You weren't a coward. This wasn't about taking a dog turd and polishing it into a diamond. This is about harvesting a diamond out of the earth and turning it into a beautiful diamond. Is what you were, my friend. So you can't take a dog turd into a diamond, but you can make a diamond more of what it's supposed to be. So that's what I remember. And through the course of our work together, it was chipping away all the parts that weren't the diamond. It was chipping away, or if David is inside the stone, chipping away the parts of the stone that were not David, chipping away the crap that had been added to David. Or in this case, Shawn, chipping away the stone of the statue of you instead of Michelangelo's David. That was what I remember, was chipping those pieces away. That's what I remember most from our coaching, was just teaching you who you weren't so that you could start defining who you are. And it sounds like who you are has become not just like, hey, this is who Shawn is, but then carrying that journey forward into helping other men find who they are too. Talk to me about a little bit about what you have learned in yourself that you share so often with other men.
Yeah, and you're kind of hitting on it right now, and that's it's still something I'm struggling with a little bit, but the awareness is there, and it's this old conditioning, right? This
Mm-hmm.
old conditioning that, man, I still have this unworthiness sometimes that comes
Mm-hmm.
up. It's it's something I learned from childhood, and
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because when we have those moments where you want to shine your light, you want to stand there and be strong and hold space for other men and other people who are on the journey. There's this little voice that I still have, and I'd
Mm-hmm.
love to hear if this is something that's really common with people you work with. But
Mm-hmm.
there's this little voice that I have that says, no, 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 no. You're not capable here. You're not capable of holding this space. You're not capable of sharing your story and being an inspiration or helping this
Mm-hmm.
man or woman guide them through their journey. So it's having awareness of that and working with it. And so often we
Mm-hmm.
want to run from that. Or in the past I've wanted to
Yes.
run from that voice and
Yes.
either it's two things. One, letting it consume me and
Mm-hmm.
believing the doubt, believing the negativity, or
Mm-hmm.
running from it and saying, no, 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 get you like, I, I'm not dealing with you today. But I've learned to love that part of me, love that part
Mm-hmm.
of me that did feel the shame, that did feel the unworthiness from a lot of my childhood trauma and some of the stress and the chaos that was inflicted onto me. And then I inflicted onto others. So having the
Mm-hmm.
awareness of that and continuing that dance with it has been a
Mm-hmm.
massive part of me continuing this journey. But I would love, like I said, I'd love to know if it's a common thing and any
Yes.
suggestions you have, because I'm
Oh yeah.
still learning the strategies behind dancing.
Oh yes. Oh yes, my friend. I had attachment issues when I was a young man. Same thing. Um, and once in a while, as I'm growing, right? You've noticed my brand has grown, my channel's grown, my background has grown, everything has grown. And every time I hit a new phase, I have the same thing. Like, am I worthy to stand here?
Mm,
And sometimes I get up and if I haven't slept in a couple of days because my kids are sick or throwing up, or so I'm on a big trip. Something big happens, and I might have a moment where I say, am I worthy to stand here?
yeah.
And I stop, and just like you said it beautifully. The old self, broken attachment, says, run away from that question. Don't investigate that question. You're only going to answer that. You're only going to find that you are unworthy. So don't even think about it. Just run away and then binge dopamine and feel better, right? Look at porn, go play video games, get drunk. That's what the old broken attachment will try to guide you to do. Instead, it's like yourself. Here's what I do, and here's what I have found seems to be helpful for a lot of other men: is you stop, you pause with that thought. You say, "Am I worthy to stand here? Let's figure that out." All right. Who would be worthy to stand here? Well, someone who had done the work, someone who cared about other people, somebody who had put in the reps, somebody who had done the research and done everything they could to make sure that they are telling the right information, somebody who has worked through it themselves so that they understand what people are going through, someone who is not hiding anything and not living a double life. If this is the best I have and there's nothing in me that needs to be removed, right? If I am the perfect statue of David carved from the stone, um, then I have to stand here because somebody has to. Is there anybody else more worthy than me that's willing to stand here right now? No. Okay. What if I step out of this role? Well, then a lot of men are going to lose that guide. A lot of men will lose that person that's right there. Okay, so someone has to stand here. No one else is doing it. And there's nothing in me that I can find that is actually a fraud. It's just a feeling of wondering if I'm worthy. Okay, well, then I will choose at this moment to say that I don't have to say I am worthy. I will say I am acceptable. I am good enough, and I will become better as I go. And
Mm,
that hope and that acceptance moves you forward. And you know what's funny is when you have those bad days, you'll feel like you're just hanging on by your skin of your teeth, so to speak. And what you will find is other people will respond to you later. You'll have that moment before a big speech or before some big presentation or event. And what I have found is that people come to me and say, Adam, I've watched so much of your stuff and I've listened to you speak so long, but this was one of the best speeches you have ever given, or this is one of the
mm.
best interactions I've ever watched with you or had with you. And I say, really? And they say, this there's something different about this time. Okay. It's amazing when a man steps forward and embraces his role, even if he doesn't believe he is fully worthy of it, but he is good enough and he's going to become worthy of it. That's the king that rules correctly. Does that hit for you? And is that resonating with what you found as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, not only does it resonate with me, but I'm seeing it at these retreats and this community that we're hosting. These men, they're just they're just missing that purpose. They're missing
Yeah.
the the fight of the fear, the fight of overcoming those difficult obstacles. Just like you're saying, when you're hanging on by the skin of your teeth, what we're finding is, and I don't blame guys. I don't judge anyone because there's so many distractions to pull us away. Like you said, the porn, the YouTube, the social media stuff, just doom scrolling, right? It's so
Yeah.
easy to lean into those things and run away from our purpose or run away from our mission. So, let me ask you this: do you have any advice or suggestions for men to find their purpose? What would you say to men who are are lacking that motivation to fight the quick dopamine hits and to
Mm.
live truer to their purpose?
Yeah, heck yeah. You know, the biggest thing I have found that was helpful for me and I think helpful for you was who's relying on you
Yes,
and what challenges have you overcome that you could teach them to overcome, or what challenges can you get out of their path? Those are the
yes,
big things. Legacy, in other words, legacy is human impact. The impact you have on the lives of the humans around you who are reliant upon you or need you. That's where men are, right? We want to find the weak spot in the shield wall. We want to step into it. We want to hold the line, and everybody survives because we were there. We want to be the guy who fishes the other guy out of the ocean when he's drowning. We want to be the guy who raises the child up to become a king himself someday. That's what so many of us are craving to become. Um, is that your journey too? That was my journey. Obviously, I'm coaching and I'm guiding people, and then they go out and become coaches and guide
yeah.
people and help people on their journey. What about you, though? Is that your mission in life? And if so, what have you seen? What men have come to you and become teachers in their own right so far? Or if they're on that pathway, how far down that pathway have they gone?
Yeah, I'm the same. Just like how you were mentioning there, standing strong and who's going to do it if I'm not. I see a big lack of men out here being leaders. There's the top of the top. There's the Jordan Petersons and the Jocko Willings and the David Goggins of the world, right? But almost the middle ground, like the people that we can actually connect, the bridges to the actual real world is what seems to be lacking. So, yeah,
It's a great way to put it.
I,
Great
I
way to put
feel
it.
I feel like it's my purpose, it's my calling, it's my responsibility to take my journey and the difficulties that I have overcome. And there's been quite a few. I know but I'll share it with anyone watching. I was a little over about 2 years ago. I was 350 pounds every day, stuck in fight or flight, stressed, anxiety ridden, just, depressed, and not to get too dark, but there was a day
Yeah.
where I held a gun to my head because I was so sick of having my mind control my body and my thoughts and not connecting with my heart and my soul and my purpose, that I
Yeah.
was I was almost ready to give up. So coming from that into the place that I am now, I truly feel like men need inspiration. Men need to see others who have done it so they can realize that they can do it themselves. And I'm an average guy. I don't mean to put the ceiling on my head, but if I can do it, I truly believe anyone can do it. So if I can be a light and love for the men out there that are trying to do the thing, then yeah, I'd love to play that role.
100%. Yeah,
And
that's
you're an
that's one
inspiration
thing
too.
that
You're an inspiration. You're an inspiration.
thank you,
Knowing your
brother.
journey, where you came from, and what you're doing now, seeing what you're capable of, it is inspiring and motivating. So I
Oh,
appreciate you
thank you
leading the
so
way.
much, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what you said was 100% right. We've got people up at the very top levels, and other guys step in and say, "Oh, I don't need to step up. This so and so, Jordan Peterson has it.
Yeah.
Jocko Willink, he has it. When you see the shield wall crumbling in the middle, you don't say, "Well, it's okay. Achilles is right there. He'll handle that spot." No, you step up, you pick up your shield, and you go get into the wall, and you do what you've got to do, because you don't need one leader. You need 1,000 soldiers who follow what they're supposed to be doing. Sometimes
Yes.
you need a foot soldier. Sometimes you need a commander. Sometimes you need a captain. You need all different levels of men. But 100%. I remember when you came in, you were you were not Superman. You were not Superman. You were a guy. You were a guy who was at the end of his rope. And I remember you looking at me at the first session and saying, "Adam, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what to do, but I can't stay where I am, and I can't go backwards, but I don't know how to go forwards." I said, "You remember I told you it's not your job to figure out how to go forwards. Put that on my shoulders. I will show you the path forwards, and then you have to be the one to walk it."
Yeah.
And you have.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. Just baby steps too. Little moments of awareness, just little actions towards your fears or towards the things that are holding you back, are massive. And just taking it day by day, even on those days where you're hanging on by the skin of your teeth. Those are like you said, those are the most important days, because it's real easy to keep doing the things that we know we have to do. For me, it's morning meditation, it's cold showers, it's breath work, it's getting a workout in, it's being of service, it's connecting with some of my brothers that I know are going through it. It's easy to do those things when we're feeling good, we're feeling great. But on those days where we're barely hanging on and we got a couple hours of sleep, and I have 4 kids. When 2 of the kids are sick and the other one's got to go to school and the other one's got baseball practice, those are the days where it's really tough to show up. And I find that, similar to what you said, when I show up on those days, that's when the real magic happens. That's when the real results,
Mm-hmm.
not only happen for the people that I'm working with and the people around me, but for myself. I'm realizing I'm capable of even more, which is strengthening that bridge out to the men and the people that we work with. So, yeah, I agree 100%.
100%. That's I love that point. That's what separates the Michael Jordans, right? The LeBrons, the Kobe's. That's what separates them from the dude who tries to play basketball on his neighborhood court and gets winded and gives up halfway through. What separates those two groups of people is one of them puts in the reps every single day when things are good, so that when things are not good, they perform at such a level that none of us could imagine. And we look at them and go, "How is he doing that?" It's because he's put in the reps on good days. It's because he's put in the reps on bad days, and they never stop. Versus you and me, if we jump on a basketball court right now, I haven't played basketball in probably 20 years, since high school.
Yeah.
If I jumped on the court right now and I would say, "All right, I'm going to be as good as Michael Jordan," and then halfway through I say, "I'm not as good as Michael Jordan. I'm going to give up and go home," and
Yeah.
just I guess basketball just is too hard.
Yeah.
Well, it is if you don't put in the reps. Same thing working with people, helping coach, right? If I didn't put in the reps, I'd be a terrible coach. There's plenty of terrible coaches on the internet, right? People that don't do what they're supposed to do, like yourself. You put in the work, you did the work, you have walked the walk. Now you are talking about the walk you have taken. You're not just talking to talk. You are talking about the walk that you have already taken. There's a lot of coaches out there who don't put in the reps. There's people out there who just complain, and that's usually where guys come to me and to you, is the guys who are ready to start their reps. That's the hell of it. You think so?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%. But it's interesting. It makes me think of the question, that guy there that gives up halfway, the guy that hits the lull and he goes, "This is too much. I give up."
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy right there. I want to tap in with him and be like, "Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive in. What's coming up for you? What's causing you to get
Mm,
overwhelmed here? Why do you want to give up?" You know, and whether it's fear or old conditioning or whatnot, that I want to, and maybe this is to my detriment. You know, there's this part of me that maybe I want to help too much, and I know that there's something to be said about you can't help someone unless they're ready to be helped, or you can't,
sure,
if somebody's not ready
sure.
to start their journey, you can't start a forum type of thing. But I don't know, when you see that lull, when you see somebody hitting that low moment, is there a strategy you use to help that person overcome and keep
Hmm.
and keep growing, keep overcoming the moment
Yep,
of weakness there?
absolutely, absolutely. So when I went through graduate school, what I call therapy school, and then through all of my years of licensure and then years in the field, one of the best lessons that stuck with me comes back from one of my very practical teachers that said, "Look, Adam, look, all of you guys here in this program, you can never help somebody who doesn't want to be helped, and you must never invest in somebody more than they are invested in themselves getting better. Don't invest in their improvement more than they are invested in their improvement, because all you'll do is hamstring them, you'll enable them, and then you'll get frustrated and burned out, and then it will destroy their chances and your chances at the same time." But they said, but if somebody is not invested, what you do is you dig around and find where they're hurting, you find where they're hungry, you find where they're confused, you find where they're lost, and you offer them information and solutions to see if they can get hungry enough to grab that solution.
Mm,
That's what you do. You say, "Hey, what makes you hungry? What are you afraid will happen in life? Where is your fear point? Let's use that for hunger. I'm afraid this will happen." Okay, that's a hunger to make sure it doesn't happen. All right, let's help you make sure it doesn't happen. "Well, I'm afraid that this thing won't happen." Well, that's a hunger to make that thing happen. All you got to do now, where is the giving up? The giving up for men is usually from not believing that a solution is possible. So then it just comes down to say, okay, let's find a man who proves you wrong, who has taken the solution and done it and showed that they can overcome what you're about to overcome. Let's do it. Let's prove it. Okay. And then let's take that guy and his solution. Let's just unplug it from his brain and plug it into your brain. The male brain is meant to work on a system of other male brains. It's like a collection of data nodes that are all working continuously to solve every problem on Earth. And men, older men, have old data that was disrupted over the last 100 years. The transfer of data has been disrupted. Men have disconnected from the network. They're scattering the networks. There's first multiple networks, and now they're all isolated. There's dudes, data nodes, sitting alone in an apartment, jerking off to porn, watching Netflix, doing nothing else, and sitting there saying, I have all the information on Earth, and I can't solve problems, so I guess there isn't a solution." No, man. You need to connect to the data cluster that you're meant to be connected in. The male brain is supposed to connect over millions and millions of other male brains to share information and solutions. And this concept of every man has to be his own island and find his own solutions is stupid.
yeah,
That's absolute stupid. What do you think
yeah.
about that?
No, absolutely, and we're finding that too with these in-person retreats that we're hosting. It's the same thing. It's what we're finding is guys that overcome their fear, and then they come, whether they've overcome it and are sharing now, or they're in the face of that fear right now and they're attempting to overcome it. We're finding that whatever was holding them back the most is what they're
Mm-hmm.
they're able to shine all this light on, and it allows other men to heal and transform that version of themselves as well. So
Mm-hmm.
for the guy that says I don't have a solution for this problem or for that problem, it's finding the solution for your problem. Once you get the
Mm-hmm.
solution for your problem, you get to share that with the world and help other men heal and transform their lives. And that's the most amazing thing about the retreats. It's just everyone looks at us like we have all the answers, like because we're hosting it, we're these gurus. But no, all we're doing is we're the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are putting this collective of men doing the work together, and then I get just as much from the retreat as these guys do. We're all there to
Yeah,
heal and teach each other, and just as you said,
100%.
the collective is what it's all about. I love that
100%.
you shine light on that.
That's what this coaching's, right? You came to me, you said, Adam, I don't have information. I said, here, plug this into your skull. And we plugged in and we shared data and I transferred it into you. And you said, that's great. Thank you. I'm going to go do that. And now you go out and you walk in a walking collection of more collection data than most men have. You go to these retreats and 10 dudes sit around and you all plug in together and say, let's put all of our brains together and we will solve problems together as a collective. And you share that data. That's how men are supposed to operate. That's what coaching is for. That's the benefit of my coaching, your coaching. That's the benefit of having a grandfather, an uncle. That's what a lot of us have lost. We don't have the data transmission from grandfather to grandchild, from uncle to nephew. We don't have that anymore. Even father to son has been destroyed. Fathers don't even have the information. They're just handing down like confusion to their kids. Their fathers aren't even present. You know, more than 99% of mass shooters come from fatherless homes.
That
Like,
doesn't surprise me. And I want to ask you that what do you think the catalyst is for this absence? Because not to say anything poor about my dad,
no,
but it's the
no,
same thing there. There was just
100%.
this lack of communication. There was this lack of
Yep.
plugging in and sharing information, sharing, how to go about life, how to handle life mentally, emotionally, physically, and how to
Yeah.
do the things that
We,
men are
yeah.
supposed to do. What do you think the catalyst is for that?
We lost an entire generation of men on World War One. Either they died, or they were traumatized, or then they were shoved into factories that they had to try to struggle to survive in. Hardly got time with their kids. And then you had the Dust Bowl, you had the Great Depression, you had massive, massive problems throughout Europe as well. And like generation of men, the next one were just deathly silent. They call them the silent generation. And then from after that came the greatest generation to go fight the Nazis. We lost another generation of men there. It was just an endless meat grinder of destroying men or silencing them so they couldn't connect to their families over and over and over. Then you had the 60s and a generation of kids that didn't have much family connection. The boomers, they exploded outward. They didn't trust their families. Not that they weren't there, but they didn't know how to bond with them. They exploded outward. They destroyed culture. They destroyed everything around them in their quest for purpose, meaning, and some sort of joy in life. Then they had their own generation X and Y, who look like deer in the headlights, don't know how to live, don't know what to do. They're just shocked. And then you had the baby boomers, their second set of kids from their second marriage. You had the millennials, and they said, we will copy ourselves onto these people, and they'll be wonderful. And the millennials and the boomers want to kill each other. Then you have Gen Z, who has never seen a functioning family system. They've never received almost any data from their ancestors. They are walking into a world of rubble. It's not even hardly a war. It's still a war, but it's like radioactive rubble from a war that's ongoing. They're raising themselves in the rubble with the tablet. Their tablets and their iPhones are raising these kids more than their parents are.
Yeah,
That's their
dopamine.
perpetual babysitter, and that is. And then they're on the internet where it's not a transmission of clear data of these solutions have worked. It's a bunch of random people saying, hey, have sex. Here's how to have sex with 5 people at once. Here's how to do this. Here's a challenge. This will fulfill you. Drink this, eat this, smoke this. And the transmission of data is just corrupted. So it got shattered across multiple generations. And now no one trusts it. No one trusts older generations either. So now we're desperately trying to figure out what to believe and who to trust and where to go. And we're all alone. And the suicide rates are exploding. Drug rates are exploding. Everything's exploding. It's building these connections, person to person connections again, whether it's with a therapist, a coach, a best friend, a pseudo family that you've built together, men on retreats, a fraternity, any kind of connection. Women are doing this too, but building those human connections back in is the only thing that's going to help us in the long term, because it's the only thing that will give us back a sense of connection and continuity so we can share solutions again. What are your thoughts on all that I just spouted
No,
out?
it makes a ton of sense. And what it all comes to for me is love. There's a lack of love and connection in families and in the community. And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
establish at the retreats, and that's what we're trying to bring up in this community is just connection. And these men that are going through these hard times, the value in just being heard and just being supported, and somebody being there saying, brother, I know where you're at. I feel that pain, and I'm here with you. I'm here for you. Let's work through this. There's so much power in that. And you talk about the wars and the absent fathers from from the 60s and so on and so forth. And it's just like, that's what just comes up in my mind in such a big way. Love and connection. And when there's trauma, what happens to our bodies and our minds when there's trauma or absence of love it's catastrophic. It's catastrophic.
Mhm.
And building that, rebuilding that connection, knowing that there are people out there that do love you, do support you. Just like you said, in these coaching sessions, this is where we kind of build that. But expanding that out and bringing it to in-person events it's powerful. It's magic.
100%, man. We're going to keep talking, but really quick for the people at home that are now curious about you, because even I'm curious about you and I already know you. For
Yeah.
everybody at home that wants to learn about you, where can they find you real quick? What's your links? What's your website? Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on Instagram at Shawn Living Positively and TikTok as well, Shawn Living Positively. If you want to check me out
That is a
there.
great, that's a great handle for you. Shawn Living Positively. That is you, man. That's who you've become. I love it.
Thank you, man. And it's true. The negativity was such a strong part of me, but like I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
overcoming that negativity, overcoming that unworthiness, and truly embodying positivity and truly embodying this man that I'm confident in and this man that I want to be has led me to this life to truly be a positive person. I like to be a light. I like to be a light for those I come in contact with, and being able to actually do it has been really really special, man.
You know what your story is in internet terms? It's spitting out the black pill and choosing to take the white pill and then
Yeah.
finding out that it's true. That's what
Yeah.
your story is in internet terms.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm still working on it. There's still a little bit of me that, like I said earlier, that wants to hang on to that past, that wants to hang on to the old
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But every day,
Mm-hmm.
every day, I show up and I keep doing the things, and I keep being of service, and I keep putting my
Yeah.
wife and my children first, and being present
Yeah.
and loving them. The more I
For the
believe the storyline, the more that the black pill gets out of there.
for the guys at home who are wondering, like, what does it look like to live a life that's actually hopeful, and maybe they're at 90% black pill, 10% hope. Where would you, when we met, right the 5 minutes before our first session, how much percent black pill would you say you were, and how much black pill are you, or how much doubt, even maybe not even black pill, how much doubt is still there? Were you 90% black pill, 10% hope, and now you're 90% hope and 10% doubt once in a while? What's your numbers?
Yeah,
Give the
I would
guys at home
say
a picture to look at.
before we started working together, I was probably about 25% hope, 75%
Mm-hmm.
doubt. There was I was
Mm-hmm.
I was really in it. And
Yeah.
what's come with the work, and I would say I'm at the point now where it's about 80-20 in the opposite direction. I'm 80% hope, 20% doubt. And it's changing every day. It's getting stronger and stronger every day. And what
Mm-hmm.
comes with the work? What comes with working with someone like you who has the knowledge and you're willing to share and be there for other men? And working like we're working with me, I would say that, and doing the things that we do here in our
Mm-hmm.
community and at our retreats. What comes on the other side of that is freedom. It's freedom. It's
Yes.
it's finding what true love feels like and looks like. Being
Oh
able
yeah.
to be the man that you truly aspire to be allows the women in your life, whether you're married or you're seeking other women or whatever, it allows them to rest and be confident that you got it. I didn't know what true love felt like until I started embodying this hope that I am now,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing the way that my wife and children can rest and are confident in their dad, and seeing a harmonious family unit and a harmonious life in general. It's been everything. It's been everything, and
That's
that's what comes with
wonderful.
doing the work.
Something we haven't talked about that I'm eager to dig into is I find that when guys fix their attachment, and when I fixed mine, I was able to pull in a lot more male friends who then helped me succeed. Like this, me, the Adam, the attachment specialist. That started back when I met my friend Andre, who was so much better at business than I was, and he
Yeah,
showed me how to make a family business instead of just yelling at people on the internet, but working an office job to try to survive. He
yeah,
showed me how to build something that I could feed my family and help people and spread the message. I met
yeah,
my friend Matt, and he said, Adam, here's how you build systems that people listen to and respond to. And both of them still have my back to this day. I could not do what I couldn't even have helped you if I didn't have those men at my back doing that. And I couldn't have connected with them if I hadn't started fixing my attachment and been a stronger man in myself. Tell me about maybe some men in your life, or what that has been like for you, so that men at home can understand what it's like to build that shield wall around you. Talk to us about that.
yeah. No, absolutely. It's been a lot, and I want to continue to expand on it. Right. So, what we do with these retreats is we meet people from all over the country, and we create these strong connections. These guys that come in are powerful men. They're intelligent entrepreneurs and driven to continue their growth journey and to help others. So having
Right.
these connections where we share so intimately the things that hold us back and the things we want to work on, it's been beautiful, and it creates a lifelong relationship. The
Mhm.
network and community of men that we have right now and that I have personally is powerful. And but I want to expand on something with my best friend Phil, who you and I had talked a little bit about.
Mhm.
Our relationship has fully healed, and we're back to being good friends again. I was,
Oh, I
he was
love
really
it.
distant because he saw some of the things that I was doing when
Mhm.
I was acting in that doubt rather than the hope, right? And he was extremely turned off from it. And he's a very loyal person, but he had to take a step away, right? And
Yep.
now he sees this person that is stepping into his power and actually being a good person, being honest, responsible, accountable. And he's like, he actually texted my wife because they're friends also. We grew up in the same town. And he texted my wife the other day and he said, he's so thankful to have his best friend back. He's so thankful to be able to
Ah.
trust, believe, and love his best friend again. So, yeah, if you guys, any guys watching, if you're looking for community, if you're looking for networking, just relationships, just connection in general, yeah, doing the work and understanding what's holding you back, possibly your attachment styles, right? Understanding those things and working on them actively can unlock so much potential for your life.
I remember that session where you came in, you were like, Adam, I want to reconnect with my friend, but I don't know how. And I said, talk to me about this. And I remember like you didn't know how to approach him. You didn't know how to talk to him. You knew that there was distance. It was uncomfortable. And I said, I gave you some awful homework. I remember, I remember the look on your eyes when I told you, what you had to do. And remember I said, go to him,
Yeah.
tell him that you realize you have been an unfaithful friend,
Yeah.
ask him how you have hurt him, and ask him what you need to do to repair the relationship. And you were like, oh man, this is going to be hard. And I said, yes, it will. It'll be one of the hardest things you've ever done. And I was so proud of you, man. You marched right out and you did it. You didn't hesitate. You didn't put it off for a month. Well, maybe you walked right out there and you went up to that dude and you said, all right, tell me what I've done wrong. And I remember he hit you with like a wall of bricks, man. You came back and you had shared like some difficult thing. Like it was a rough conversation, but he gave you a plan. And talk to me about that. What was that like? How hard was that? So the men at home know what to expect. You didn't die, number
Yeah.
one, but it felt like you were going to. Talk to me about what that was like so they know what to expect.
Yeah. So two things come up. It's a similar, the feeling I had going into that conversation with him was similar to the feeling I get when my wife is angry with me, right? And I want
Yeah.
to run. I want to run away. I
Yeah.
literally get a pain in my stomach, a knot in my stomach, where I know that that's my
Yep.
attachment. That's the attachment stuff from
Yep.
the past, right? And
Yep.
I can either choose to give into this and avoid it, or I can lean in. And I do the same thing with my wife. She'll be upset. She'll go to bed, and
Yep.
I muster up the courage and I go, I'm going in there because
Uh-huh.
I know I'm overcoming these past conditions. I'm overcoming this.
Yep.
And when you show
Mm-hmm.
up vulnerable, honest, and transparent, that's, like I said in the past, that's where the magic happens. And he saw that. You know how it is, man to man, even man to partner. When we're honest and true to ourselves and we're just sharing authentically, they know that. And there's a mutual
Oh yeah.
respect gained when you come in that way, when you show up in that light. So it was difficult, but like I've been doing nonstop for the last, however
Mm-hmm.
many years now, just showing up when the
Mm-hmm.
going gets tough and being vulnerable. And it was met with so much love, difficulty, right? It was a difficult conversation. He
Oh,
let
it's
me have
hard.
it. He smacked me around a little bit with the way he was feeling, but it was because I created that space where he felt safe to share. And with that authentic, genuine conversation, our relationship is transformed completely.
And that's the only thing that does, right? It's the only
Yeah.
thing that works.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing,
So true.
nothing shy of walking in the arena and putting up your fists and doing the sparring and doing the reps and frankly taking some of your lumps sometimes when you need to. That makes people trust you, right?
Yes, 100%. And that's what people are afraid of. People are afraid of how they're going to look or how they're going to be perceived or how they're going to be judged or criticized. If you can get past that and be comfortable and confident in yourself and being your true, authentic self, freedom and deeper connection, depths in regards to intimacy are on the other side. And that's where I truly believe the magic in life is. those depths of intimacy and those deep connections is where the most meaningful parts of my life have come. And I want to say it again. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. You were a foundational piece for me to get to exactly where I'm at now.
I'm so honored to be playing a part in your journey. I'm honored to be able to see it now and have you come back. A lot of guys, a lot of guys they coach with me. They do 4 sessions with me or 8 sessions or whatever it is, and then they go off into the world. It's cool. Sometimes I get to read about them in the news, good things, not bad things. I get to read about them in the news. I get to do that, but to come back like this and then watch you thriving, watching you helping men, watching you not just step into the shield wall and raise it, but then to start pushing the line forward and lifting up other men who were exhausted, and watching you march forward is an inspiration to me to keep going. So men helping men, and then men helping the same men back in return. That's what it is, my friend. That's
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I appreciate that. And for me, when you see the evil in the world so clearly now, right? Before, when I was partaking in all this darkness, the porn and all the distractions and the easy way outs, when you see it so clearly and see how these things are just pulling men down and casting this gray cloud over their lives, it's inspiration. It's inspiration for you to show them the light, show them how to step out of that and find purpose and meaning in your life. And
I have
it's really.
always. I'm a,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a sucker for horror movies a little bit, vampire movies, Blade, all those good stuff, and that's how like you say, the evil in the world. I look at it as like killing some more vampires, man. There's porn out there; it's gonna bleed men dry. That's a vampire. Let's kill some porn today. Let's kill some porn vampires. Let's kill some drug vampires. Let's kill some attachment vampires. Let's kill fear vampires. Let's drive it away and build a safe area for our people to live in. Every person on Earth. I don't care what color you are, purple, brown, polka dot. Let's build some safe spots and kill some vampires together. That's how I envision it. It sounds like there's so many cool metaphors you can use, but at the end of the day, it's men helping men to help their families.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. And when they overcome those vampires, when they kill their own vampires, what that's doing is allowing the safe space for their families, for their wives, for their children, and then allowing and seeing having their children see that safety and feel that safety and look and see what a real relationship looks like. It encourages those children to seek the same thing. So not only is your work helping your life personally, but it's creating a generational, I don't know the word, but it's creating a generational cycle for health and for safety and for
100%.
security. Yeah.
You've got it. You see, the reason you're stumbling there is we don't even have the words for generational cycles or generational rhythms anymore. Yeah. We don't even have those words anymore. So you're stumbling trying to figure it out. Everyone watching this, if you're 20 and under or Gen Z, whatever it is, if you're watching this 20 years from now in the future, say, look at these guys back then. Look what they were doing. You are going to have to rediscover the words like we are rediscovering the words. We're going to pass the knowledge to you guys, and then you carry the knowledge forward and pass it to someone else. Everybody is on this quest together. We are all together on this journey. I happen to know a little bit more about attachment than most people do. Shawn, you know more about building groups of men and stacking them up together and that sort of thing, and building those interpersonal connections. Everybody out there has knowledge that we all need to share. We need to link up together like data clusters. We need to share the solutions. We need to build that better world together. That's what all of us are working on together. One man to another, and women too. Everybody involved. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you for listening to me and Shawn. You love each other right here. This has been awesome. Please make sure you like and comment, subscribe. Drop us a comment below if this has resonated with you. If you're on this journey, if you think it's crap, let us know. We want to start a conversation. We all get better when we talk about it. Guys, thank you so much. Let's be strong men together. Shawn, one more time, what are your socials so that people can find you?
Yeah, thanks for following along, guys. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Shawn Living Positively, and the same on TikTok as well.
Thank you, guys. And remember, we are all stronger when we link together. So let's link up and let's get stronger. Thank you.